welcome. This is Kevin, also known as Awol, and back with making this mesh together project. You might have noticed I had to slip one gray one over to the right hand side and one black one over to the left hand side because it's a little bit off on its numbers and stuff, which is fine. I mean, that can be a thing with bracelets. You just got to be careful when you're where it joins that you don't leave a big gap, because that's something that people are going to notice like immediately. I'm pretty sure that in the part where I was doing up the pattern that I talked about the fact that that one gray strand that runs down the middle is going to get used an awful lot, and I would have probably been more comfortable if I could have exchanged it at some point. And lo and behold, yeah. One of the tails is considerably shorter than the other. I kind of foresaw it coming. I didn't have the string itself isn't like super long or whatever, so I mean it's the normal 1/3, but yeah, and that's the only reason it saved me is because it is 1/3, because you can put the longer one through the loop and then tie them and it'll still work out. As far as the difficulty, I really thought this one was going to just be easy. I really thought that there was no... because everything kind of just keeps doing the same thing all the way down. And I thought that once I got the handle on that, that would be fine. But I found I had to really look at the pattern the whole way along. Had a real hard time kind of like navigating what was going to happen where and how. So yeah, this one really kind of threw me for a loop. I really thought this one was just going to be a cakewalk. There's a lot of elements that I liked about it, but running out of string in one of the parts, didn't like that as much. I kind of feel like if maybe I did this a couple more times, like if I was really into this bracelet, if I did this a few more times, I probably wouldn't need the pattern anymore. But as of like right this moment, there is something about it that's just, I don't know. I don't know why. But hey, it is what it is. The string is like a solid black and a gray white variegated. And for those of you who don't know, because I say this because I see a number of comments that people are like, I got that color changing floss. Yes, you do. It's called variegated. It's variegated floss. If you use the right words, you sound smarter. If you just say it's color changing, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't. It's just trust me on this one. Besides, and that's not just for me. Like that's I can hear my mom like in me saying that. I grew up in a household where you had to use your words properly. So yeah, it's variegated. The cool part about the gray being variegated is the fact that they don't cross over each other. So as it's doing its transition, it's not... if you do a chevron, right, and the two are coming apart from each other, one could be dark and the other one light, and you'll know which way the center knot was because it'll match one of the two sides. This doesn't have that at all, right? So that stripe down the middle, you get to see the transition from the dark to the light and back to the dark again. And the same goes with the little bump out things on the side. Those are their own strands and they don't come in contact with anything else. So it makes for a really good use if you want to have colors that are changing up throughout the whole design. This pattern lends itself really well for it. But again, the middle strands, if there's any way, maybe make them a bit longer. I really don't like going longer than a 1/3 length, because then the pulling it up, that can that can get you in the shoulder for sure. But yeah, still really cool. And I mean, I kind of have like a standard length that I work on, because this pattern can kind of end wherever. I could have made it just a bit shorter, and then I could have had longer tassels if that's, matters that much. So yeah, I did spend a lot of time looking at the pattern and trying to keep this thing figured out. So I would have to say this isn't that beginner friendly. And I can't say I had a lot of fun at it either. Like, it did probably take me longer because of the amount of time that I spent having to go over the pattern and see where I was and trying to count how many places there were. Oh, and we had balanced this thing out so that way the center kind of just hides. Like, I can't even tell you like where the middle of it is per se, unless I sat here and kind of counted it out. I can do it by, yeah, I can go matchy all the way to the middle. There we go. But yeah, I don't think that part mattered as much in this, again, because it doesn't do any special like mirror effect. And yeah, because it took so much to concentration, I ended up only listening to music. I didn't stream TVs or movies and stuff with this one. I kind of felt like that was kind of too much, I guess. Because otherwise I just end up where I hear a title of something and I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that, and end up like watching it and be like, wait, how do I know parts of this? Because I was watching it while making a difficult bracelet. So hopefully we got some easier ones coming up so I can catch up on some of the things that I want to see. That's the hope. Also, you can see the clip that I used wasn't the strongest. It keeps kind of sliding down, and then the work underneath it is kind of sliding as well. So there's a couple different clips that I have. These cheapy ones are great, but they get kind of rusty, so I put felt on the inside of it. So that kind of keeps it from making it anything ruined, from my stuff. So this has got to be close to the middle, guys. Let me thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members who make this stuff possible. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up going through a bunch of floss here in the near future. I just added another big project that I want to play with. It's not that big. It's, how I've done the pencil cans. Yeah, it's another can, but this one is at least double the size of anything I've ever made before. So I'm kind of excited about the prospects there. So yeah, I'm going to be going through lots and lots and lots of floss. It is what it is, right? Yeah, if you guys make this bracelet, by the way, if you make it, I would like to see it. See what you're working on. We have a Discord server for that. You can share your finished works, your works in project, all that stuff. There's a place for you over there, so you can join that. And yeah, that would be kind of neat. Or I guess you could tag me in Instagram. That would be cool too. Trying to think of all the stuff that I might be forgetting here. I have no idea. It is a pretty cool bracelet though. I do have to say, like, I would totally wear this. It actually looks good with the bracelet that my wife made. They're kind of similar colors. But yeah, this is, I didn't set out to make something very like tribal looking. But now that I kind of check it out, it does seem like that, right? I mean, does that seem... It's kind of cool. Maybe a brown with the a tan would have been cool. So anyways, that's what I've been working on. Been having a lot of fun with these meshing togethers. Definitely planning on doing some more. Think I'm going to kind of finish out the month with doing those, and then go back to doing some doubling the patterns. Maybe we'll do a month of that. Maybe that's what June will be. So June over here in Singapore is the June holidays. Basically means it's the kids are out of school, which makes going to a mall or just generally out in public in general tends to get a little bit more crowded. So I might be a little bit more inclined to stay home and make a lot more stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, wow. I'm seriously working towards the bottom of where the screen goes. Normally I would have slid the bracelet up. Oh, I'm trying this experiment of having the camera more zoomed in, and hopefully we're still getting like a good image quality from it. It looks all right to me. I mean, I can make out the individual knots. Can't see much of my hands at this point. Right down at the bottom of the screen. So yeah. A lot of cool ideas I have for some projects here. I got a lot of patterns that I think would be kind of fun to do in various forms. Like I said, either these mashing togethers or doubling it or meshing it in alternative ways. That's always fun. So trying to think if there's anything else memorable or that's going on that would be worth adding and telling you guys about. Not really. I mean, it was just a difficult bracelet, and somehow I managed to get through it. So there you go. And somehow my computer is somehow dropping frames. Oh, so as I'm recording this for you guys to watch, YouTube members can come in and watch, and well, they can talk to me. I'm not necessarily going to talk back during a recording. But yeah, they can chat with me and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of going on right now. So on top of recording, my computer's also trying to stream this, and my thing tells me that I've dropped a couple frames, and I have no idea why that is. But I gotta fix it, obviously. There's, something is wrong. I wonder if it's my internet. I've got cable and Wi-Fi. It should have like astonishing internet. And now that there it goes. I was like completely almost working out of frame. Yeah. So I think part of the why I couldn't get used to this is the zigzag is on its own set path, and it reoccurs every one. Let's see, it's from there 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other one is, yeah, it's just off. It's like they don't, if they lined up in the same spot every time, I could have used that as a guideline to help make this easier for me. But it's another one of those things where it's like one's doing 6 and the other's doing 4, or one's doing 6 and the other's 5, or whatever it is. The two numbers don't line up, and so it's a constant moving thing. And I think that's possibly what made this more difficult. However, one of the things that did make this easier, and now I'm running out of time because I couldn't think of this earlier, is that black one came all the way down and out. And so now I know that because it's on the inner position, it does something. I can look at the one above it to see if it's to do the 3 knots or the single one. That part I was starting to kind of get used to. So like I said, maybe if I did this a few more times, I would have the problem of knowing, you know, where I'm at and having to stare at the pattern. But first run at it, yeah, I was definitely not loving that. It was definitely feeling like it was a challenge. So still, it really is a good looking bracelet. Like, now that I'm really looking at, like, it's starting, yeah, we got to be getting near the end, because it got really bright down the middle, and then it starts to darken in towards the end, and you can see it, the darker gray is starting to really set there. So yeah, we're getting closer to the end. Oh, I bet you that we're probably really close now, right? Yeah, that I think that diamond thing that just went up, I think that is part of the end part. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. It's kind of helps the channel an awful lot. And if you could hit the like button, because that too actually helps out more than you know. And yeah, big reveal coming up really quick. Like, I know it's almost there. It is. Here we go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't get your strings in a bunch.